So it's been a while, huh? Well, for me, I would be talking to the BALAM League because after an amazing race in Austria, which was round 4, it came Spain, and I did not participate because I joined the lobby too late that they had already taken the seats, all the seats. Then in Mexico I did not participate because I was outside of my city and therefore didn't get able to go in my Xbox and play F124. And now finally after 3 weeks we are in Singapore for round number 7 in the BALAM League. We got down to 12th position and we somehow managed to gain 2 points by doing absolutely nothing in these 2 races that I went absent. And so with our tire location set to balanced, we begin qualifying, invalidating our lap time before we even begun because we ran wide into the final corner on our out lap and game registers it as an invalidation, and it also invalidates the next lap just in case no one has to do illegal advantages before even beginning the lap, and so they do implement that. And so I gotta do another out lap, which was nothing that is good to me because I do not have enough fuel for the in lap. Although the thing that I worried the most is that I did not even have fuel enough to finish the flying lap, and I did set a lap time of 1:27.317, which was affected by the lack of fuel at the end of the lap. And so I have to improve or else I might qualify pretty low. And after that I did a small run on the medium tires just to rubber in, and after that getting back into the topic of having to set a better lap time. Unfortunately, that 1:27.3 was the best lap time we would set in this session because on our second and last real attempt to set a better lap time, I didn't even improve. I completed but did not improve because of traffic. Traffic ruined my lap time, and also I did pretty badly in the last few corners, and so we dropped down to P13, a position that we don't want to start, and it is because it's pretty hard to overtake unless I could do pretty strategic moves with the pit stops. Oh, it's gonna be a pretty tough time for me. If traffic wasn't a thing, that lap time that I have set would have been like a half a second faster than the first one, so I could have gotten up to P7, but it has happened and we qualified P13 alongside Stark, my esports teammate, and up to the top we see that Chanona is on pole alongside Unde. Feldis in third, and my teammate for this race, Faster, is on 4th. And so we're gonna start the race with medium tires and 54.5 kilograms of fuel loaded. Everyone is going to start on mediums except Chanona, pole sitter, and we are underway, and we see that Chronicle gets a terrible start compared to me, and we get up into P12 immediately, and we hit into turn 1 right on the outside, and we get overtaken by Stark because he took advantage of it, and we are getting back to P13 after being re-overtaken by Chronicle, but we re-overtook him once again, and we are going wheel to wheel heading into turn 7, and we head into these corners, and Chronic overtakes me, and we get down to P14. Ooh, there are some contacts there, and we head into this tight. Oh, looks like Unde and Failed both have spun, and we exit turn 9 back in P13, but there is a McLaren who overtakes us. I decided to give him the place, and we are down to P14, but not anymore because Stark and the Shag both have gotten terribly into contact, and Stark, oh my god, they pushed me wide a little bit, and we are back in P13. Rapis is the driver who is in front of me. So, what a crazy first half of the first lap. And even though we are still in P13, after seeing everyone spin and overtake me and all of that, well, we are still in that position, ending this lap. And on lap 2, that is about to change because we head into turn 13 and we see some smokes from the blocking brakes, and oh, we get some contact, and it is that Phil that bumped me, and he's trying to overtake me and push me down to P14, and that's the thing that he's done. And in order to supposedly not lose time, I decided to back off and not go side by side into turn 14. That is a bit unfortunate. Chanona sets the fastest lap of the race, and we see that Feld has run out of ERS, and we end up lap 2 setting a PB of 131.759. But on lap 5, heading into turn 7, exiting that, I almost spun and had a snap forward steer, and unfortunately the Shag took advantage of it, and I dropped down to P15. And that thing made a bit worse, meaning that my comeback is gonna be pretty tough to do. And to make matters worse, beginning lap 8, I did this. Yeah, that hindered the chances to make a comeback so much that I depend on a full course safety car in order to make that thing happen. And I misjudged the brakes, and I gotta be pretty lucky that my front wing isn't damaged, so I can catch the field back up without lots of trouble. While I was getting back into the field, Chronicle got a bit into an incident with another driver, but I overtook him, but unfortunately it was during the yellow flags and getting considered as an illegal overtake, so I got hand the place back, and we are back into P13, but we hit into turn 8 and Chronic has spun, blocking his rear brakes, and so we are back into P12, but because of that illegal overtake and having to hand the position back, I got a little bit far away from the field, which is not good for me. And unfortunately I couldn't catch the field, and so when I was heading into turn 7, Goodman returns from the race, and that deploys a virtual safety car, and it is because Goodman crashed so hard that he damaged his suspension, and that happened on lap 13, but fortunately it happened a thing that I wanted it to happen, and it is a full course safety car, and so we are boxing for new sets of hards, and because of it we are gonna be bunched up in the field, and so that revives the chance of me having a comeback. We see that the Shark has a 3-second time penalty, and so that means that we are gonna get up into P8 with the penalties applied. But it ain't anymore, because ending the safety car period, beginning lap 16, we are down to P11, and we are pretty far away from the cars that are in front of me, and we exit turn 3 and we already catch up the field, and we see the Wisban and the Shad both are wheel to wheel heading into turn 5, and oh, that is a tight 5, and oh, the Shad squeezed Wisband, and oh boy, he has spun, and the affected was him, and we got top in P9, so that is pretty good for us. Also, we see that Rocha has a 3-second time penalty. Lap 18 and faster and red mirrors. Oh, no way. What a dirty move for my teammate Faster. Thank you very much, but this was a dirty maneuver, and is that red mirror got pushed into the wall by him, and I decided to overtake my teammate round the outside into turn 6, and we are up into that same number, but I ran wide exiting turn 7, but I didn't lose any positions. Beginning lap 23, we head into turn 1, pretty normal, right? But we head into turn 2, but I cut the corner too much that I got a track limit warning, but to make matters worse, that was my third track limit warning. And so I got a 3-second time penalty, and that means that if I overtake 65, I need to be more than 3 seconds ahead. Okay, man, oh my god, I almost got spun by Chronico, and we hit into turn 7, and I blocked my rear brakes, and oh my god, we got overtaken by both Chronico and my teammate Faster. Oh my god, I almost watched a wheel-to-wheel battle with these two drivers heading into turn 10, and we see that they both run out of ERS, but I am almost like them because we have 42% of ERS. And heading into turn 6 on lap 25, we see that Faster tries to overtake Chronic down the inside into turn 7, and they both ran well. Chronic ran wide, Faster pushed him wide, and they made contact a little bit into turn 8, and we head into turn 9. They're wheel to wheel, and meanwhile we're watching the action from the back, and he heads into turn 10. Faster goes, oh no, he clips the wall, and he crashes the car, and that deploys the full course safety car because that crash into the wall, the outside wall, was so hard that he made him DNF, and so that means that we're gonna box 4 soft tires because there's gonna be 6 laps to go. So I checked who had a 3-second time penalty, the drivers that were in front of me, and I saw that unfortunately Rocha is the only driver who has a 3-second time penalty and is ahead of me, and so that means that the only position realistically that we can fight is for P5, but that converts into P4 because Sexify is getting controlled by his AI because he is barely joining the session which he had left. But maybe we can fight for the podium because Johan has a 10-second time penalty, and so that means that can we have for the first time in my league racing career in F1 24 a podium finally, and so that'll be the first podium that I'll get since Elite Racing League Endurance in Great Britain back in F1 23, the final race that I have done, a final league race in that game, and that was a long time ago, July, and let's try and get that podium. But we head into turn 17, and Chronico tries to overtake me down the inside, and he attempts a big dive bomb, and I brake too deep, and fortunately I think that was for the good thing because he wasn't showing any signs of him not doing that dive bomb, so if I didn't brake too deep I might get spun by him, and that is gonna be way uglier than if I brake too deep. But heading into turn 7, we see that Rocha and Joan both went to make contact, and Joan has front wing damage, and Rocha has spawned, so that means that we can get up into P3 if we overtake Chronic, and that is gonna be some pretty good news for us. But first we need to overtake Joan, who has now 13 seconds of penalties accumulated. We head into turn 13 and we activate our DRS, we deploy our ERS, and we overtake him down the inside into turn 14, and that is such a good dive bomb. Now it's time to catch Chronic and overtake him, and I could defend my position from Joan, but all the laps passed and I couldn't catch Chronic. And to make matters worse, Onde got closer to me and he's now overtaking me down the inside, heading to turn 17. I couldn't do anything to prevent that overtake in legal matters, and so we finish P5. Although it is a nice comeback that we have done from P13, but it could have been better, honestly. Rapis wins the race and failed, finishes second. Only if I didn't have that 3-second time penalty. Maybe. So here they are, the final race results with the stewards penalties applied as well. And we see that failed got demoted down to P8 because he got a 25-second time penalty from the league stewards, and so that means that we got ascended up to P4, equaling our best position from this league. But it's a bit frustrating that I couldn't get a podium. Still, we get 20 points, that puts us up to 10th with 64 points. Chanona is leading the standings with 169 points, and Unde is in second with 165. So it can be a great fight for the title, but let's see if it happens at all. So if you have enjoyed this video, well, can you please give me a like, and you might be the 100th subscriber also, but well, that is all by your choice. So see ya in the next video. Goodbye.